Okay, folks, so there's a video surfacing rehashing Kamala Harris's haunting past as district attorney of the state of California that is absolutely devastating. It's heartbreaking and it's contradicting a lot of the campaign that she's currently running on, which is that I'm a woman of color supporting other women and people of color. Because the story that I'm about to show you here, and Sean Hawkins brings this to attention, is absolutely devastating and should be alarming to many people about who she is. So Sean Hawkins says, when Kamala Harris was district attorney in California, she arrested and prosecuted a mother because her handicapped daughter, who has sickle cell anemia, missed a few days of school. So Kamala Harris, back when she was district attorney, chief prosecutor in California, stated numerous times how she would endorse the arrest of parents of truant kids. She would proudly endorse that. She even mocked people that were protesting that this notion was absolutely barbaric and crazy. She was mocking those people. Build more skins that stands. Remember that video? This is her actually doing this. She has had a long-standing history of prosecuting parents of young children because of truancy. And she prosecuted this mother because her child was in the hospital with a serious illness. While the mother, Cheree Peoples, fought these absurd charges for 2 years, Shayla, her daughter, also had a stroke during her mom's trial. The mother ended up losing her job and was evicted from her home, making them homeless. Your abrupted apathy and complete lack of compassion and human decency towards this woman and her child and all handicapped people, Kamala Harris, is inexcusable and should be exposed as such. So this is linked to a video here. Take a look at this.
I intend to fight for Black Lives Matters. I intend to fight.
If Black Lives matter to her, why didn't I matter?
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom, and I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
I'm so proud of you right now, because you walked all the way down here and I wasn't expecting you to walk.
My daughter, Shayla, suffers from sickle cell anemia, a chronic, painful genetic disease.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick.
It's a very sharp stabbing pain, and it hurts a whole lot. Like from my chest all the way down, it hurts, including my side.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
When Kamala Harris was the California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I spent a majority of my time here at the hospital.
Kamala's horrible policies hurt mothers like me and the Black community. My name is Cheree Peoples, and this is my story. I am a single mother. I've worked as a certified nursing assistant and a caregiver. My daughter Shayla was born in 2002. When she was born, she was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia. It affects all major organs in the body and also causes extreme pain. Her whole life, she has been on medications like morphine and Dilaudid to help her control the pain. In addition, she had to undergo blood transfusions every 3 weeks. My lifestyle became taking care of her almost full time. It is pretty typical for kids with Shayla disability to miss a lot of school.
I just got out of school. I've done 3 full days this week. Oh, I'm so tired.
And for years, the teachers were aware of her condition and her absences were all excused. California schools get their state and federal funding based off of average daily attendance. Schools are paid about $30 per student per day.
In San Francisco, we threatened the parents of truants with prosecution.
I first heard of Kamala Harris when she got elected California Attorney General.
We are putting parents on notice. We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
She wrote a report saying truancy was costing California schools $1.4 billion a year in funding.
Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding.
I want money.
Kamala.
Sorry, I had to pause that because I'm even shocked that schools are getting paid for more kids to attend. Like, to me, it seems backwards. It just seems so crazy. The system that we're in. It seems so crazy that schools are losing funding because less kids, like, again, it's like when the, grade point average, more schools get more money if your grade point average is better. Well, if schools are underfunded and those and certain children aren't receiving the proper education that they should, that should require more funding, not less. You should not be cutting back on certain children because they're lower on the economic scale than people with higher, better education. It seems so backwards to me. But I'm not district attorney. I'm not the chief cackling prosecutor, Miss Kamala Harris. So great. We took a mother to prison, taking her away from a child. Remember when we talked about the people at the border, how devastating it was to put people in cages and stripping them away from their parents? I spent a career doing that. Oh my God, there's more.
Kamala then wrote a law making it criminal for parents if their kids miss school time. Kamala even wrote a book called Smart on Crime.
You can read an excerpt from the book that she just plugged shamelessly. It's called Smart on Crime.
Talking about arresting parents for truancy.
I sent a letter on my letterhead out to every parent in the public school system.
In 2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days. It was like a crazy intimidation tactic.
I'm going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought, wow, this woman doesn't have any empathy. Is it because she's not a mother? I also thought, how could she not understand it would disproportionately affect people of color, single Black mothers? But honestly, I didn't imagine it could affect me. Her teachers had her medical records from the Children's Hospital. I even had a 504 plan, which was an agreement between the school district and the parents to provide care for students with disabilities. It was April 18th, 2013, in the morning. I'm in my pajamas. I had just fed my daughter, gave her medications, sent her off to school. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest. All of a sudden, the police is outside my house, and they started banging on the door. I opened up my door, and 2 officers entered my home. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. They said I was going to jail. I was shocked. I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
Then they handcuffed me. So they take me outside for what you call a perp walk. And oh my God, the TV news was there. The newspapers were there. You could swear I had killed somebody. It was degrading and humiliating. I was taken to the Criminal Justice Center. They took my mugshot. I was fingerprinted like a criminal, and I was terrified.
And it felt like I caused her so much pain. because in reality, it is because of me, even though I know it's not directly my fault. Sorry.
The next day, the Orange County Register showed the pictures of my arrest. They even had a close-up picture of my hands in handcuffs to show here's a black mother being arrested.
It was a truancy rate at over 2.5 times that of white students.
Everyone knew most truant kids were black. I think Kamala Harris wanted me as an example to threaten other single black mothers, like, this can happen to you if you don't get your kids in class. The police even put out a press release naming me and other black single mothers like Toya Daniels, who got arrested the same day. But my hell was just beginning. They gave me 2 charges: failure to supervise and encourage school attendance, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I couldn't believe it. They framed my daughter as a gang member and basically charged me with neglect. I spent the next 2 years in court fighting these charges. Kamala assigned her nastiest prosecutors to my case.
My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
Like 10 different prosecutors.
God.
They kept pressuring me to plead guilty and spend a year in jail. But I kept refusing because I did nothing wrong. All the time I had to spend going to court, I was struggling to care for my Shayla. I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted. I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
And I ended up being in the hospital a lot during her trial. And in that hospital stay was when I had my stroke.
I had a stroke about 4 or 5 days ago. And right now I'm doing pretty good. My hand is doing okay, I guess.
In 2015, after 2 years, they finally just gave up and dismissed my case. In 2018, the Supreme Court of California ruled that truancy cannot be punished by incarceration. It was unconstitutional. The courts finally stopped Kamala Harris' abuses.
Holy jeez. There's more to this, but I can't even watch. Just how devastating this is. This is your potential first woman president, ladies and gentlemen. Your potential first black president, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like a good team leader, right? Definitely sits in the same boat as Joe Biden. I mean, can you think of a better pair than the old fart bastard who wrote the 1994 racist crime bill that prosecuted and mass incarcerated the most black and brown people in poor communities, and the chief prosecutor of California who arrests single mothers because their child is in the hospital, arresting them, charging them that their making up trumped up charges to say that your child is somehow formed a gang because they missed school, even though they had doctor's notes and clearances from the school. But obviously, Kamala Harris is going to be great for women, for mothers, for children, because the fact that she's a woman and she's a Democrat. Obviously, it makes sense. Gee, I wonder if Taylor Swift knew this before her celebrity endorsement. As she said in her Instagram post, she's read up on things. She made an informed decision to go with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Oh, wait, she didn't mention this? She only mentioned that Tim Walz is cool with LGBTQ and abortion, which apparently that's the only thing that matters at this point. Unbelievable. And I made the joke earlier about how she spent a career removing parents from children. And it's kind of funny that she and others cried boo-hoo when it was at the border under Trump. And that is just the most ironic part about this. And it is just amazing to me that I didn't even know about this. I didn't even know about this until some guy on X, on Twitter, posted this video. I would have not known any of this. I knew that she was, making fun of locking up people for truancy, but I would never have heard this story. It was never anywhere in the media. They don't bring it to attention. If this was if this brought to attention, this would be a question I'd be asking her in interviews. I'd be bringing this up in the debate constantly. I'd be referring this to Barack Obama when he goes to shame black people why you're not voting for Kamala Harris. Oh, it must be misogyny. It must be you're self-hating blacks, I guess, because you're not voting Kamala Harris. Barack Obama is pulling the same stunt that Joe Biden did on that Breakfast Club interview. Well, if you have a hard time deciding between me or Trump, you're obviously ain't black. Unbelievable. I really wonder if if the hugest amount of supporters, Taylor Swift and all these celebrities, actually, when they say they read up on things, when they say they're informed, when they're making a conscious decision, do they actually look into the details of these candidates? Do they look at their track record? No. God, no. They're just bumbling, useful idiots. That's what these people are. That's what Taylor Swift is. A useful idiot for the Democratic establishment. Because all she cared about, just like they said the DNC, just like they constantly talk about to God knows end, is abortion. Not even a woman's right to choose, because they restricted that during COVID. You don't have choice, but you're okay to abort babies. And nothing else. That is unbelievably heartbreaking that I didn't know about this till now. And I had to find it on Twitter. I had to find it on Twitter from some random guy that posted it and not making this a mainstream story. Because this should be a mainstream story. This should be a scandal. They should be doing Dateline and Nightline and all the other Line episodes about this. Because there is more and more victims of Kamala Harris's brutal, barbaric policies as chief prosecutor in California. And maybe that's why more and more black people, more and more people of color are siding towards Donald Trump, the game show host, than they are with Kamala Harris. Maybe that's something to look at. The same people that voted Barack Obama twice and didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. It's almost like they know about this. It's almost like they're read up more than Barack Obama or Kamala Harris or Taylor Swift. It's almost like they know who the real predators are. And like Malcolm X said, the biggest thing they have to worry about is not the Republicans. It's the white uptight liberals. The white moderate liberals is their worst enemy. Because they're the ones that are shaming them into complacent. They're shaming them that you have to vote this way. You have to. Because of the color of your skin, because of where you came from. That's why all these race-baiting tactics came about. It's to shame these people into place. It's not congratulatory. It's shaming people into their agenda. And this is what happens when you shame them into the party that abuses the most black and brown people, that abuses workers. And The media never said a word about this. This went back in 2012. And not a damn word. Not a damn word is said about this until now. This should be haunting Kamala Harris. This should be haunting the Democratic Party. This should be haunting the Democratic voters. I'm disgusted by it. I'm haunted by it. This should be disgusting and alarming to them. But it's not. Because out of sight, out of mind. They don't care about this. They don't care about anything. They just don't want Trump. They just don't want a game show host who tweets mean things. They want to live in their bubbles. They want to continue their little escapades of celebrity fame and virtue signaling culture. They don't care about working class people. They don't care about this. Just absolutely disgusting.